okay, I don't know if I feel like talking right now. Like I did, but then, and I was like, okay, let's record. But then I didn't record. I started talking. Then I was like, maybe I don't feel like talking. But like the stuff I was talking about before, part of it I could have talked about on camera, but the other part was just like not talk about stuff, vibes. And right now this light is beaming in my face, but it's too dark outside for me to use some natural lighting. So it's like, what? Anywho, okay. In my first video, I was talking about me disassociating, and honestly, this is just one thing that it's been coming up like a pattern. Um, so I don't know if I even like got into me talking about the past or like fixating on the past, because one thing that I unpacked in my aha moment of my disassociation effects was I'm deciding to close my eyes because this is too bright. I still see it with my eyes closed. But yeah, one thing that I had unpacked was me being attached to the past. Like I would fixate on the past, and I had wrote in my journal that this fixation was because I wanted to feel what I knew that I felt with, but unable to connect with in those moments that I had been fixating on. Like, for example, I would fixate on my teenage days, and I'd be like, those were the days, like, I had so much fun when we did this and this and this, and, you know, teenage me did a lot of crazy, silly things. I'm like, life doesn't feel like that anymore. And though in those moments, like, I still kind of didn't, attach to feeling some things, a lot of things, like, very frequently. I didn't. There were moments where I was, like, in tune and going in and out of feeling or knowing what I physically felt, and I want to be there again. So this moment or like realization, it kind of like led me to thinking about the various patterns of the past speaking to us and letting us know something. Because at first, when I was going through that, I was like, okay, I was doing this and like revisiting the past, and it was just like a stepping stone to get to me actually feeling the present moment. But I wasn't appreciating that the beauty of the past, the future, and the present all communicating with one another simultaneously. And the other day, like I was on the phone with I was actually on the phone with two different friends, and this came up, but I was on the phone with one of my friends, and I was telling her like to take some time to think about the past, like, and allow yourself to feel the things that come up, like genuinely feel them, because you might have not felt them back then. And honestly, I was saying this before I knew that like it was really like pertaining to me. But I was just like, take some time to feel the past, and that would help you navigate the future. And I was like, the present, and decide or figure out what kind of future you desire. And I was telling her how like the past has information, like lost information that sometimes we may not like explore, like we may not remember because we're not there anymore, or we may not have even perceived it X, Y, and Z way because we hadn't made it to where we are. And she took in the advice because of course she would. And she said it helped her, but then it also came up again when I was talking to my other friend, and we've been friends for a long time. So sometimes like we'll like go in and out of like talking about what's going on in the present, planning stuff for the future, and then talking about our past. And it's like different layers of past because we've known each other since we were like literally in middle school. So it's like chops of different types of past. And I can't even remember what. Like I just know that like that also came up too. But then I was thinking about like I just be thinking about a lot of stuff. But I was just thinking about like not just the connection with the past, future, and present self, but also just like our different selves. So I had a dream, right? And it was I always have dreams. Like I just always have some dreams with some crazy plots and all this stuff going on, or not even crazy plots. Sometimes it just be like a journey or whatever. And then I be remembering them and I'll be like, oh, okay. And so the other day I had a dream and I was like, I need to write this down, baby. Like, we need to write this down. And I'm trying to get better at actually like writing my dreams down more consistently because I feel like that the dreams bring me so much clarity, and they're definitely messages from my ancestors, from my spirit guides, from myself, just picking up on what I'm feeling in my everyday life subconsciously. Um, but yeah, so I'm like writing my dream down, and one part of my dream, I was like writing about how my self, like my physical self, was having a relationship with my dream self. Like how, okay, so I would do something, and this happened pretty frequently, but like I would do something in the dream realm. And mind you, like there's different worlds that I go to in my dreams, but sometimes like they repeat, or like sometimes it's me being me, or sometimes it's me being another version of me, and all these different things. And in this dream, I was like a similar version of me, but I wasn't me. But like the me, which was physically sleeping, was talking to the me in the dream as like in my brain, like as I was doing things. So in a dream, I think I was like storming off or something, like something on my way. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then me, the real me right here, is talking as I was sleeping or resting. I was like, girl, what are you doing? You don't even act like that. And and the me in the dream was like hearing it and reacting to it, but like still doing whatever. But like you could tell it was being perceived as a thought by the me that was inside the dream. And so I came up with this theory, right? Like, what if when we're thinking, that's really just another version of ourselves dreaming and like putting their input in the dream? Because I was thinking about it, and like sometimes the way I was sharing before, that like sometimes the thoughts don't necessarily align with how you genuinely feel, or like the full scope of an experience, right? And when you're dreaming, you literally just get that scene. Like you get whatever parts come together in that scene, whether it's like you went from the lunchroom to the gym, but you don't know what was going on, like in social studies or whatever. Like you just getting chunks and chunks and chunks of what's going on to make whatever plot. And sometimes it's not even making a plot, it's just making up shit. And so you like going in and out of this scene, and then you put in your input from your perspective of the life that you literally live. And I don't know, this theory actually makes sense to me. I'm gonna run with it for a little bit because sometimes when I be having thoughts, I'll be like, girl, what perspective did that come from? And it literally came from one scene and one version of myself rather than the full story. And with that being said, I don't know. I think that somehow correlates with the past as well. Like, mm, I'm trying to figure out what the connect the dots for y'all, but you can connect it. I'm just yapping at this point. Um, yeah, because this is just me yapping. I'll be forgetting that. This is for me. I just feel like I needed to talk. Like, I just needed to talk. Even though I didn't feel like talking, I just feel like I needed to talk about stuff and about the different things that, like, whirl in my brain. But, like, mentioning my friends, I really love my friends. I just be loving people. I really do. Because I really just sat here and prayed for my friends, like, so heavy. Like, so, like, it was a real deep prayer. Like, yes, like, all the love. Like, just all the love was there. Because I just love my friends and I desire for them to have a really good life. And even, like, those things, like praying for somebody or thinking about somebody, I just be thinking about how, like, time exists simultaneously, and how the little moments of stuff like prayer or dreaming or thinking or breathing is all aligned with that oneness that we have in each and every moment of our existence. That oneness that we have with each and every person which we exist with. Because, like, okay, so boom, yesterday I had wrote a letter to my future self. It's getting a little difficult to keep my eyes closed. But it's helping because that light is too much. But I had wrote a letter to my future self, right? And as I'm writing this letter, I was basically, I ain't gonna lie, I had a few drinks, which I don't normally drink. And at first I was like not really getting into the letter because I'm like, I cannot grasp the fact that I was even drinking. Like, I was like kind of fixated on it and trying to make sure that I wasn't writing about that in my letter to my future self or like writing too much about it. And so once I finally got myself together, I end up like unpacking like the different places or different moments where I recognize that my future self is present in my everyday experience. And I started off with like I started off with the mirror. I was like, in a mirror, I know that my future self is present, and honestly in any reflection. And I was thinking about how, like, I would look in the mirror and I would say my affirmations, I'm getting ready and things like that. And I see my future self glistening because I am her right now. And it just started getting real poetic. I'm like, ooh, girl, yes, I could feel it up in me. And I was thinking about how, like, when I'm recording like this, I could see my future self when I go back and watch these videos and things like that, because I see myself being me unapologetically or being fearless, even when I'm like nervous to talk or do or say with X, Y, and Z before I turn the camera on. When I get on the camera, it's like, okay, you got this, girl. Go ahead, keep going, you know? And that's my future self. Or like, it was another reflection I was talking about specifically. Oh, I said when I was in the gym, when I'm in the gym and I look in the mirror, and that's a whole concept right there. Like being in the gym, look at yourself in the mirror, or being in the gym in general. I feel like that's you literally hanging out with your future self and your highest being, because you're literally channeling exactly who you physically desire to be, like taking a physical interaction with a spiritual interaction, because you're having faith and consistency and physical action all in one to create who you desire to be. And so like I'm looking in the mirror and I see my future self and she's saying like, keep going, you can do it, just one more set, you know. And that really took a deep dive, because I started to think of like all these things, such as that deep breath. And I was like, when I breathe, I feel my highest self. I feel my future self existing within me. As I slow down in my breath, we become one. The stillness, the calmness, the softness, the ease that comes from me focusing on my breathing is my future self and my highest self saying, girl, it's okay. Girl, you all right. Or providing me whatever clarity I may have been searching for. And then I started going on and on about how I know exactly who my future and my highest being is because of how she treats me. How when in this present moment I may be filled with confusion or worry, she motivates me, she gives me love, she provides clarity, so I know that she has clarity herself. I know that she is consistent in her dreams. She's present in her power because of things that she tells me when I'm looking for guidance. When I may be, just like overwhelmed or whatever, the things that she decides to say to me, the ease that feels my essence and my energy, that is her. And I started to tell her how proud and how whole I feel to know that I am her and she is me. And honestly, when I was writing, I was like, this is good. But as I'm saying it right now, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. For me to be her, for me to be me, and know those things about me, to know that I love and care for myself so much that even in the confusion and discomfort, that I'm always there and filled with love and just kind to myself. And to know that I just love my existence that much. Because everything I was saying, I was talking about me. Me right now. And yeah, that's beautiful. And I think that's all of my soul's lore for today, because how much more of my soul can you have? None of it, actually. That's wild. That's a wild question. That none of it is all mine. It's all mine. I call all my power to me, within me. And all of my soul as well. Anywho, that's it. Thanks for yapping. Oh my god, this thing is so high up. Ooh.